meeting of the Gibson County Legislative Body to please come to order. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good to see everybody here this morning. We've got a lot of new faces. Look forward to working with each and every one of you, and I'd just like to begin by saying congratulations to all the people who have spoken. We've been elected to represent them. I look forward to working with each and every one of you and your committees over the next 4 years. And I just want to say just real quickly, I remember 4 years ago waking up on this morning at 4:30 in the morning, couldn't go back to sleep out of sheer terror. I'll just be honest with you. But I can honestly say that this morning I woke up at 4:15 and couldn't go back to sleep out of sheer excitement. And that's the truth. And it's an excitement that only can come from knowing what this body is capable of accomplishing. And we've proven that over the past 4 years. And I look forward to doing even bigger and better things over the next 4 years. So with that said, I'm going to call on Commissioner Keith Steele. Please lead us in prayer.
Let us pray. Our fair and gracious Heavenly Father, thank you for all of these men and women that are here today. Realizing that we have been chosen by the people to represent Gibson County, we also realize that we have a responsibility to represent you. We understand that we have been chosen to serve, and that your Son, our Savior, Jesus Christ, is an example of a servant. I ask that you lead us to focus on what is best for Gibson County. May we truly be servants of this county. We ask for the wisdom to make decisions that will be best for the county. We also ask for humility so that we can listen to each other and not just ourselves. We ask for the courage to make decisions even when our decisions are not popular. As commissioners, may we be open-minded as we consider the thoughts of each other. Above all, we ask that you guide us in our thoughts so that we may be pleasing to you. God bless Gibson County, Tennessee, and the United States of America. In God's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Won't you join me for recite the pledge of allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. Next on the agenda is the swearing in of county commissioners, and I am honored to perform this ceremony for you and to you this morning. And if you'll all stand with me and raise your right hand, we'll move forward. I, and state your name, do solemnly swear that I will perform with fidelity the duties of county commissioner to which I have been elected, and which I am about to assume. I do solemnly swear to support the Constitution of the United States of America and the state of Tennessee, and to faithfully perform the duties of the office of county commissioner, representing district and state your district of Gibson County, Tennessee. So help me God. Amen. Thank y'all. You're in. I apologize if I'm moving a little gingerly this morning. I've been having some back problems, and if I say something that's completely and utterly absurd, I'm going to blame it on the muscle relaxer. So I'm going to go on the record saying that. At this time, I'm going to turn over the meeting. No, at this time, we're going to call the roll, Madam Clerk. Are you ready to call the roll, Madam Clerk?
Yes, sir. Commissioner Hughes.
Here.
Commissioner Evans.
Here.
Commissioner Cunningham.
Here.
Commissioner Sykes.
Here.
Commissioner Longmire.
Here.
Commissioner Carr.
Here.
Commissioner Mackin.
Here.
Commissioner Bivens. Here. Commissioner Tubbs.
Here.
Commissioner Morgan.
Here.
Commissioner Cameron.
Here.
Commissioner Summers.
Here.
Commissioner Cole.
Here.
Commissioner Nance. Commissioner Locke.
Here.
Commissioner Connell.
Here.
Commissioner Flake.
Here.
Commissioner Smith.
Here.
Commissioner McEwen,
Here.
Commissioner Littleton,
Here.
Commissioner Pella,
Here.
Commissioner Stale,
Here.
Commissioner Yergin,
Here.
Commissioner Childress,
Here.
Commissioner Moss.
Here.
25 present, we have a quorum, thank you. At this time, I want to turn the meeting over temporarily to County Attorney, Mr. Floyd Flippin, for the election of chairman. And I'd just like to say before I do so that it has been my distinct honor over the past 4 years to serve as your chairman, and it would be an honor for me to continue to do so in that capacity if it's the will of this body. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Thought for some of you new commissioners, I would explain why it is my recommendation. It's up to your vote why we elect Mayor Witherspoon to be the chairman. He will not. It's very rare. I can't think but one vote ever that the county mayor has voted, and that's since '91. So it's very rare for him to vote, and it would have to be somebody would have to have a conflict, so therefore we only have 24 voting members, and then even the ties are remote. But he was elected the leader of the people. The reason that he ought to be chairman, in my opinion, and that he is, and it has been that way since I've been county attorney, is because he was elected by the people just like you all were. And as chairman up here, he can conduct the business of the commission. So it's my recommendation that he be elected chairman. But I can't vote, and y'all don't have to follow a recommendation. But at this time, I want you at least to understand the historical basis for the county mayor being the chairman. So this time I'll entertain a motion for someone to be elected chairman of the county commission.
I move that Tom be elected as chairman of the commission.
We have a second, motion by Keith Steele, second by Robin Summers. Any discussion? Anyone else nominated? If not,
Motion nomination ceasing and elected by acclamation.
that's by Commissioner Kimry. Let me do this. We have a motion and a second, so let's just go with that. All those in favor of County Mayor Tom Witherspoon being chairman, say aye. Aye. All those opposed, say no. He is elected. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. This next election is for Chairman Pro Tem, and I can honestly say I didn't really decide who I would recommend as a nomination until last night. I've had so many people that would be great Chairman Pro Tems. They had so many good choices, and it was after a long weekend of thinking about it and praying about it, I decided to choose someone who hasn't always agreed with me, but he's always been a man of conviction, and he's always been honest with me, and I always knew where he stood. He's also been very involved in this county commission. And that being said, I would like to offer as a nomination for Chairman Pro Tem, Commissioner Michael Longmire. Motion made by Commissioner Steele and seconded by Commissioner Moss. Does anyone else have any nominations? If not, all those in favor of Commissioner Longmire, say aye. Aye. And opposed likewise. Thank you. Motion carries. And thank you, Commissioner Longmire. Put my glasses back on, we'll get to work. Everybody received in your packets a copy of the minutes from the previous meeting. This time I'd like to entertain a motion to dispense with reading of minutes and approve. Motion made by Commissioner Moss, seconded by Commissioner Flake. All those in favor, vote by saying aye. Aye. And opposed, like sign. Motion carries. We also received a copy of reports from various offices. This time I'd like to entertain a motion to dispense with reading of reports and approve as presented. Motion made by Commissioner Longmire, second by Commissioner Smith. All those in favor, vote by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries. Thank you. You also received a budget transfer. I believe we only have one this time. Do I hear a motion on this transfer? Motion made by Commissioner Summers, seconded by Commissioner Flake. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Commissioner Hughes,
I need to make sure what I'm voting. Yes.
Commissioner Eckler,
Yes.
Commissioner Cunningham,
Yes.
Commissioner Sykes,
Yes.
Commissioner Longmire,
Yes.
Commissioner Carr,
Yes.
Commissioner Mackin. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Commissioner Bivens,
Yes.
Commissioner Tubbs,
Yes.
Commissioner Morgan,
Yes.
Commissioner Cameron,
Yes.
Commissioner Summers,
Yes.
Commissioner Cole,
Yes.
Commissioner Nance, Commissioner Locke, Commissioner Carter,
Yes.
Commissioner Flake,
Yes.
Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
Commissioner McEwen,
Yes.
Commissioner Littleton,
Yes.
Commissioner Pillar,
Yes.
Commissioner Steele,
Yes.
Commissioner Yergin,
Yes.
Commissioner Childers,
Yes.
Commissioner Moss.
Yes.
Motion carried. Thank you. You also received in your package a copy of the resolutions for today's meeting. This time I'd like to entertain a motion to dispense with the reading of resolutions. Motion made by Commissioner Cole, seconded by Commissioner Yergin. All those in favor, vote by saying aye. Aye. And opposed likewise. Resolution number 1 is our second reading of our nonprofit appropriations. Do I hear a motion on resolution number 1? Motion made by Commissioner Smith, seconded by Commissioner Kimmery. Is there any discussion?
Mr. Chairman, I'm new at this. Should I go to the podium to discuss this? or
You
from
can
here?
stand if you feel better going to the podium, that'll be fine.
Sometimes people have trouble hearing me, so I think I'll go to the podium. To begin with, I want to be very clear with the commissioners that I'm not a know-it-all. I know I've got a learning curve to go here, but I've studied this resolution and I don't agree with it. I want to be very clear also to state that I am not against any of these charities. I recognize that they are good causes, and there's a lot of good causes out there that serve Gibson County. My problem in supporting this resolution is that I believe that my constituents have elected me to take their money under penalty of law and to decide which charities they should support. There are a lot of charities that serve Gibson County. I don't believe that this list is an exclusive list and includes them all. And I don't believe that it's a proper form of government for us to take money under the penalty of law and give it to or select charities for our constituents. Again, I'm not against any of the charities on this list. I know that they all serve useful purposes, and I know that they are all good causes. But the issue is not about whether a particular charity represents a good cause or not. The issue is whether I should choose which charities my constituents represent. I'm aware of the fact that some of these organizations, at least that are on this list, provide needed services in the community. And so I take from that that the argument would be, well, they're kind of sort of government entities. Well, I've got at least two problems with that. If you look at the top of this resolution, it says charities. We're not voting to give money to a government entity. We're voting to give money to a charity. And each of these organizations were organized as charities. If they provide a needed service, which I believe that probably most of them do provide a needed service, then I feel like our constituents on their own can decide whether or not to personally support the charities, rather than us take this money on the penalty of law and decide for our constituents. Thank you.
We appreciate your comments, Commissioner Hughes. Does anyone else have anything they'd like to add? Mr. Steele?
I'd like to say I agree with everything he said except for one thing. The Humboldt Rescue Squad provides services for the county, and they help us with ambulances and backup whenever we have a lot of our ambulances out of the county, and so they directly help us. And outside of that, I think he's right about everything that he said.
Anyone else? I think Mr. Harry Adcock is with us today. I'd just like to, if he's still here, Mr. Harry, you still here?
Yes, sir.
Would you like to add to the discussion and remind the commissioners, about what it would mean to you and your, center if we lost this funding?
Well, yes, sir. Be glad.
Yeah, please come forward.
I'm Gary Adcock. I'm the executive director of the C.S. Patterson Training Center. I approached this body at the last meeting and gave a presentation on what we felt like were the benefits of funding for our agency. The main numbers, and if you have watched the tape, I'm not going to go through everything on that. But the one thing is the basic economic development monies that we do generate for the county. I was talking to Mr. Nance earlier and explaining to him that we do have 100 employees. We generate a $2.1 million payroll. Property taxes are paid on all the properties where we have our services, except one building, which is a state-owned building. One thing I forgot to mention last time is of the people that we serve at the Patterson Center, we have 12 of those individuals who actually have jobs out in the communities, which means that they're paying payroll taxes. I'll give, for example, we have an individual from Mountain, Tommy. Tommy's been working at Food Right for Bubba for several years. Tommy goes to work like anybody else. We get him to work. He does his job. He's graduated from just stocking shelves to bagging groceries and doing everything that anybody else does up there except the cashier. But when he gets his check, taxes are taken out just like they are my check. It's a economic benefit to his family and to him. And in my consideration, that is not a burden on the county. That's an advantage on the county. And like I said, other than Tommy, we have 11 individuals just like that are out there working in the community. We had approached this county commission and with the understanding that we know that the new commissioners are not bound by the conscience of the old commission. We understand. But the fact still remains is that we are a viable, we don't consider ourselves a charity. We are a service provider for the people of this county that have been in existence since 1972. I was also telling Mr. Nance that we have individuals that were in our children's program in 1972 that we're still serving as adults now. Where would those individuals be if we weren't there? They would be at home, which would mean that their families would not be able to work. You take the 225 people that we serve over all of our counties and all of our agencies that provide those services, just do that by 30% or 50%. You've got people in the workforce out there that aren't going to be able to work. Their families aren't going to be able to work. Not going to be able to pay taxes. They're going to, that vicious cycle of depending on government to support them is going to continue. we're asking for a small amount of money compared to what we generate coming back into this county. And if you want to compare us to any kind of investment, contact the Tennessee Municipal League, see what $3 million in income generates for this county. The gasoline, we spend $60,000 a year down here at Co-op for gasoline. We generate a lot more money coming back in this county than the $24,750 that you all are investing in. You're not giving to us as a charity, you're investing to us as a employer in this county. Any specific questions, I'd be glad to.
Mr. Harry, do you receive any state money based on county match, county contribution?
We do. I'm sitting on a $3,300 check right now that as soon as I submit to the Department of Education, we'll get a $33,000 van, handicap accessible lift van. That's 10 to $1 right there, just on that 3,000. As I mentioned the other time, we have a private foundation individual that wanted to remain anonymous that was willing to match dollar for dollar for whatever the county gave us over and above what they had given us last year. We've already received that money based on good faith efforts of the commission that voted on the first reading. We received $10,000 right after the meeting based on good faith. And because of our cash flow situation, for our children's program, you know, we just now received June's money. We haven't gotten July and August money. That individual understood the cash flow situation that we were under and went ahead under good faith and sent us the $40,000. I can produce those deposit slips if needed. I might have them in my packet here. But that's a lot of turnaround money just based on that right there.
You want to mention how many vehicles that you license and pay for tax on?
34 that we pay real tax on. We generate, I'd have to put the numbers to it, but a $24,000 investment, you're probably getting $150,000 back just off the top of my head. We're just on those things alone. That's about $80,000 right there, just on those two individuals.
Mayor?
Mr. Yergin?
I think we've already made a commitment on this in good faith. I think we need to honor our commitment because we adopted the budget in July. This was it. It was voted on, and we made a commitment to honor this, and I think we need to go on and do that. If we want to make some changes in it next year, then that'd be up to this body to do that. But I think we need to honor our commitment here to these people.
Does anybody else have any questions for Mr. Adcock or any input?
Mayor,
Mr. Cole?
I'd like to say this, as I look at the heading of this resolution, I take exception with the word charitable. I know it's always been that way, charitable nonprofits, but in my mind, that word should be stricken. The word charitable. This is nonprofits. As I look at the list, they don't, in my definition, they don't appear to be charities. As Commissioner Steele noted, we've got Rescue Squad that does great work. Harry has noted what his group does, and all these others as well. I see them as nonprofits that enhance the life of Gibson Countyans as a whole. And I have no problem personally agreeing that this is something that I would support. And as Commissioner Yergin said, it's already been discussed at great length by the previous commission. And I put a lot of credibility to that fact as well.
Thank you, sir. And I think as far as the verbiage in the heading goes, I think we're bound by state law to provide that wording to meet Tennessee code.
To me, it seems a bit confusing.
Anyone else have any questions, input?
Is there any employee that you have that's dedicated to fundraising or specifically for private, to obtain private contributions?
No. We're basically all of us are in that business. We don't, when we file our reports with the Secretary of State and everything, we don't list that we have or solicit funds from a professional fundraiser type thing. We do receive funds from Lights of Columbus, in Milan. They help with our band matches when we have those also. Individuals, of course, with the foundation, monies that came in, private individuals funding. And we're kind of a different animal in a lot of respects because of the number of entities that fund us: TXDA, HUD, Voc Rehab, Care, Department of Intellectual and Developmental Disabilities. One thing that restricts us a lot of times is the Department of Labor, because of agencies like ours, the Department of Labor, if we have a fundraising event, I can't even let my employees participate in that event without paying them overtime, even though I have a written agreement from them saying that they're volunteering their time to raise money for the organization that they work for. That puts a pretty good restriction on why people do that. Even with that agreement from them, if we go out there and do that, I'm having to pay them overtime to help raise money, pay for their overtime. Basically what it comes down to. I know that seems kind of strange, but the Department of Labor is very strict, and I can provide the mayor or anybody documentation of when they came in and told me that.
Mayor Sykes?
Yes, on this resolution, of course, it does start off with charitable organizations. You said you probably have to say that because it's state law. But as you read on down into the resolution, you go to section 1 on that resolution, it says the $46,000 to be appropriated for nonprofit organizations in Gibson County reflected below. But so it does sort of break that out when you get to section 1 in that resolution.
Well, the top line said nonprofit charity, so we said both.
Any further questions for Mr. Adcock?
Call for vote.
Call for a vote.
Question's been called for. Madam Clerk, please call the roll. Thank you, Mr. Adcock.
Commissioner Hughes,
No.
Commissioner Egbert,
No.
Commissioner Cunningham,
Yes.
Commissioner Sykes,
Yes.
Commissioner Longmire,
Yes.
Commissioner Carr,
Yes.
Commissioner Mackin,
Yes.
Commissioner Bivens,
No.
Commissioner Tubbs,
Yes.
Commissioner Morgan,
Yes.
Commissioner Cameron,
Yes.
Commissioner Summers,
Yes.
Commissioner Cole,
Yes.
Commissioner Nance, Commissioner Locke,
No.
Commissioner Carter,
Yes.
Commissioner Flake,
Yes.
Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
Commissioner McEwen,
Yes.
Commissioner Littleton,
Yes.
Commissioner Pilner,
Yes.
Commissioner Steele,
No.
Commissioner Yergin,
Yes.
Commissioner Childress,
Yes.
Commissioner Moss.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you. Moving on to resolution number 2. Resolution number 2 is a resolution to set up in-service training funds for the Sheriff's Department provided by the state of Tennessee in the amount of $18,000. Do I hear a motion on resolution number 2? Motion made by Commissioner Longmire, seconded by Commissioner Smith. Do we have any discussion? If not, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hughes,
Yes.
Commissioner Egbert,
Yes.
Commissioner Cunningham,
Yes.
Commissioner Sykes,
Yes.
Commissioner Longmire,
Yes.
Commissioner Carr,
Yes.
Commissioner Magnet, Commissioner Bivens,
Yes.
Commissioner Tubbs,
Yes.
Commissioner Morgan,
Yes.
Commissioner King,
Yes.
Commissioner Summers,
Yes.
Commissioner Cole,
Yes.
Commissioner Nance. Okay, just talk a little loud, please, I appreciate it. Commissioner Locke,
Yes.
Commissioner Carter,
Yes.
Commissioner Flake,
Yes.
Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
Commissioner McEwen,
Yes.
Commissioner Littleton,
Yes.
Commissioner Pillar,
Yes.
Commissioner Steele,
Yes.
Commissioner Yergin,
Yes.
Commissioner Childers,
Yes.
Commissioner Moss.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you. By the way, if we got a lot of new faces, if I get your name wrong, don't take it personal. I called Commissioner Copus Commissioner Collins for 2 years. And then I've known both of them all my life, so. Resolution number 3 is a resolution to appropriate additional funds for liability insurance premiums. We had our, to kind of summarize, we had our budget passed this year before we found out what those premiums would be, and this is a measure to set up those additional premiums. As you know, insurance premiums rarely go down, they usually go up, and that's what we're dealing with here. Do I hear a motion on resolution number 3? Motion made by Commissioner Moss, seconded by Commissioner Tubbs. Any discussion?
Were there competitive bids sought after this increase occurred?
The entity chosen to carry our liability insurance was chosen before the increase occurred. But, Ms. Anita, would you like to expand on that just a little bit?
We have our liability insurance and workers' comp and local government insurance. And our agent is First State Insurance in Humboldt. And yes, they do submit bids before we renew our insurance. Local government has always been our best bet.
The local government insurance, though, they're a great value, great asset to us, man. It's really, they're hard to beat. We had was it 2010, after 2010 floods, we had about $1 million claim with a $500 deductible.
We have $500 deductible.
And then we had the issue with the servers at the sheriff's department going out a year and a half after that, and called them back down, determined that it was from the sheetrock repair from those floods. Dust had gotten into the cabinets of those units, and they honored that repair. It was like $40,000. So they've been really great to us.
So this is part of the self-insured program?
No, it's not.
That we heard about?
No, that's our health insurance that you're thinking of. Yeah.
Tom, the timing of this seems odd. Is this typically every year that their rates are not known until after the budget?
This is the first time that I've called. And I'll tell you, the state's always pushing us to have a budget passed early. Get your budget passed before end of June. And it's not uncommon, or hadn't been for the past 2 years, but we've been able to achieve that we found out about some additional expense because the state hadn't got their reports into us in time. Not knocking the state, but last year, the surety bond issue last year, it came up after we'd passed our budget. You know, we get our budget passed early, and that's good. I want to continue to do that, but we've got some entities that we deal with that are either government entities or quasi-government entities like state, local government insurance pool that may or may not have their information to us in time.
No incentive for them to do that. They choose to do that.
Not other than us leaning on the comptroller to make them get it in time, and the comptroller leans on them for us. You know that, and we can ask real nicely. Outside of that, there's not a lot we can do. Any further discussion on resolution 3? If not, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hughes,
Yes.
Commissioner Egbert,
Yes.
Commissioner Cunningham,
Yes.
Commissioner Sykes,
Yes.
Commissioner Longmire,
Yes.
Commissioner Carr,
Yes.
Commissioner Mackin,
Yes.
Commissioner Bivens,
Yes.
Commissioner Tubbs,
Yes.
Commissioner Morgan,
Yes.
Commissioner Cameron,
Yes.
Commissioner Summers,
Yes.
Commissioner Cole,
Yes.
Commissioner Nance,
Yes.
Commissioner Locke,
Yes.
Commissioner Collins,
Yes.
Commissioner Flake,
Yes.
Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
Commissioner McEwen,
Yes.
Commissioner Littleton,
Yes.
Commissioner Pillar,
Yes.
Commissioner Steele,
Yes.
Commissioner Yergin,
Yes.
Commissioner Childers,
Yes.
Commissioner Moss.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you. Resolution number 4 is a resolution to appropriate funds to pay dues to Northwest Tennessee Human Resources Agency. Do I hear a motion on resolution number 4? Motion made by Commissioner Steele, seconded by Commissioner Moss. Any discussion? If not, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hughes,
Yes.
Commissioner Egbert,
Yes.
Commissioner Cunningham,
Yes.
Commissioner Sykes,
Yes.
Commissioner Longmire,
Yes.
Commissioner Carr,
Yes.
Commissioner Mackin, Commissioner Bivens,
Yes.
Commissioner Tubbs,
Yes.
Commissioner Martin,
Yes.
Commissioner Cameron,
Yes.
Commissioner Summers,
Yes.
Commissioner Cole,
Yes.
Commissioner Nance,
Yes.
Commissioner Locke,
Yes.
Commissioner Collins,
Yes.
Commissioner Flake,
Yes.
Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
Commissioner McEwen,
Yes.
Commissioner Littleton,
Yes.
Commissioner Pillar,
Yes.
Commissioner Steele,
Yes.
Commissioner Yergin,
Yes.
Commissioner Childers,
Yes.
Commissioner Moss.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you. Resolution number 5 is a resolution to authorize our solid waste director to pursue a grant for recycling equipment through TDEC. Do I hear a motion on resolution number 5? Motion made by Commissioner Summers, seconded by Commissioner Sykes. All those in favor, vote by saying aye. Aye. And opposed, like sign. Resolution number 6 is a resolution to set up expenditures for capital project fund. This is a project that carried over from the previous county commission. It's phase 2 of our roof replacement at the juvenile court. If you recall, during the budget process, we took a portion, or actually we took this year's portion of our TVA match in the amount of $444,271 and appropriated it to capital project funds to pursue these type projects. It affords us the opportunity to go through a building committee and make these repairs that we're going to have in the coming months without having to borrow money from ourselves or float a bond and all that. And we were in a good position to do that, thankfully, because of the healthy nature of our debt service fund. That's really where the money came from in a one-time measure. That one-time contribution from TVA went into capital projects instead of our debt service. And so this is an ongoing. Mr. Summers, would you like to comment?
I was just gonna make a comment, this will complete and have new roof on all of the old jail, not the new complexes built, but the old jail.
That's correct.
Not just the juvenile court, but the rest of it.
That is correct.
We should be in good shape for 20 to 30 years now.
Yeah, the whole roof would be, warranted for the next 10 years. Once we do that, the same group is going to do this phase that did the first phase. And Commissioner Summers has been very involved in this, as many of our building committee members. Do I hear a motion on resolution number 6? Motion made by Commissioner Cole, seconded by Commissioner Summers. Any additional comment?
This is a private contractor we pay to do this?
Yes. And then the job was bid out. Initially, they bid out both phases of this, and they were low bidder on both phases. Any further discussion? If not, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hughes,
Yes.
Commissioner Egbert,
Yes.
Commissioner Cunningham,
Yes.
Commissioner Sykes,
Yes.
Commissioner Longmire,
Yes.
Commissioner Carr,
Yes.
Commissioner Mackin, Commissioner Bivens,
Yes.
Commissioner Tubbs,
Yes.
Commissioner Morgan,
Yes.
Commissioner Cameron,
Yes.
Commissioner Summers,
Yes.
Commissioner Cole,
Yes.
Commissioner Nance,
Yes.
Commissioner Locke,
Yes.
Commissioner Collins,
Yes.
Commissioner Flake,
Yes.
Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
Commissioner McEwen,
Yes.
Commissioner Littleton,
Yes.
Commissioner Pelham,
Yes.
Commissioner Stale,
Yes.
Commissioner Yergin,
Yes.
Commissioner Childress,
Yes.
Commissioner Long.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you. Motion number 7 is resolution number 7 is a resolution to appropriate funds for Tennessee Promise. I think it would behoove us all to give you a little history of how we arrived at this resolution. Back in the end of June, I believe it was, we found out, when I say we, I mean the county mayors, found out that as part of Tennessee Promise, which I think is going to be a great program and a game changer for not only Gibson County, but for the entire state of Tennessee, we found out that the county mayors had been given the task of choosing a partnering agent, a nonprofit partnering agent to move forward with to pursue Tennessee Promise. And Tennessee Promise states that every student that qualifies for Tennessee Promise is required to perform 8 hours of community service per semester attended in school, which I think is a good thing. But to do that, we have to have mentors who are boots on the ground to make sure that these students show up for their community service, document their hours, offer them help with financial aid assistance and reporting. And it's going to take people who are hands-on to make this happen. I think we're going to end up with about 100 volunteers thereabouts in Gibson County to serve our 5 school districts. Now, when the decision came to me, now keep in mind, by this time, our budget process was over. It was behind us. So Gibson County was really given 2 choices as far as who that partnering agent was going to be. As you all know, that Ready was one of those choices, and Ready has been a tremendous presence for us here in Gibson County at all of our schools. They're already in the mentoring business for our schools. So what I did was went to the superintendents of our schools and asked them to make the decision on who our partnering agent would be, especially since that person or those people are going to be present in their schools. It's going to be a school-driven initiative. And I asked the superintendents to vote on it, and they chose Ready, I think because of as I said, the strong presence Ready has been for us. And I committed, well, I didn't commit, but I promised the superintendents that once a dollar amount was arrived at, that I would request half that funding. In other words, ask the county commission, you guys, to partner with our schools to provide this funding on an annual basis. And you'll note in the resolution, it says just that fund availability will be evaluated on an annual basis. And I'm going to say this on a personal note, $25,000 to me, it isn't a lot of money when you're looking at what we can benefit from it. And if any of you have worked with Beverly Voss, who has been our coordinator for Ready over the past 3+ years, I mean, just her presence on our workforce development committee and the hard work she's put in is worth far more than that. Far more than that. I mean, she really is a blessing to Gibson County. And that's just one piece of that puzzle. And Ready's been so much more to us than just Beverly, but she has been wonderful for us. And I think that this will be a great gesture on our part. And I know that and I talked to the governor about this not too long ago, you know, we're different in Gibson County. We're special in Gibson County because we're special school districts. But until we tear down that wall that we see dividing us and separating us from them and all start pulling in the same direction, I doubt we're going to move forward very fast, if at all. So we've got Mr. Joe Barker here with Ready. Joe, would you like to come forward and tell us where we are right now? I know you can explain this better than I can. Mr. Barker is Director of Southwest Tennessee Development District.
Thank you, Mayor, and I appreciate the opportunity of being here. I remember I was here 4 years ago when we first were looking at starting a regional initiative, and I was so thankful that Gibson County was supportive of what we did, and that is where we really began. Ready is not an educational program. When we began Ready, it was really based on, I guess, my experience. And this morning I had great pride in watching all y'all sworn in because I'm a former city commissioner, former city mayor, former county mayor, and former assistant commissioner of the Tennessee Department of Economic and Community Development. And during that period of time, I had the opportunity to form some opinions and to study what I thought was needed, particularly in our rural counties, to be successful. And this is how Ready was born. In 2009, there was a 2-day conference in Jackson where we invited the counties in. The counties decided that they wanted to put together a regional initiative that looked at 4 things. One of them is college access, which is what we're talking about today. The other is entrepreneurship, technology development, and building leadership capacity. At that time, we focused on 13 counties in southwest Tennessee. 11 of the counties invested dollars. When we showed that good faith, we were fortunate to receive a $1.5 million grant from the Tennessee Higher Education Commission. This was for 4 years. We knew that at the end of the school year, this past year, 14, that our grant was over with. This is primarily what we have used to fund our program through those 4 years. Our agreement to receive this grant was if our counties saw benefit by what our program did in their communities, then we would ask them to invest and fund this program. And this is where we are today in funding this program. We will be working with each of your high schools, and we're on a real tight time frame with the Tennessee Promise. Tennessee Promise, as the mayor says, is a workforce development program. It provides last dollar funding for every high school senior that will be entering college in the fall of 2015. In other words, they will pay the dollars that are left after other dollars are applied for any student that wants to attend either a community college or a technology center. So those students can absolutely go free of tuition and fees. What we are doing is coordinating this effort in Gibson County along with the school system. So with that, I'd be glad to answer any questions you might have.
Does anybody have any questions? Mr. Parker?
What is a qualifying student? What are the requirements to receive this?
The only requirements for the student is that you must be a senior, you must be entering, that you must meet the requirements of the institution that you want to enter, but it's only good for if you're going to enter a community college or a technology center. I mean, that's the only qualifying is that you must have a diploma from a qualified high school, or you can even be a homeschool student. We have covered every student. If you have homeschool students in Gibson County, they are eligible for this program also.
Is the money broken out to the 5 school districts, or does it?
I included as a supplement, Commissioner Steele, in that packet, and we did break that number down as to how many students would benefit from it. And actually, it's a total student number, and I think the cost per student is $80 per student is what it breaks out to. And if there's one issue in this county, and Joe, you've been around long enough to know that holds us back above all else is our post-secondary accreditation numbers. And that's the one thing, when we have a prospect visit, that's the biggest concern, workforce.
Well, I want to congratulate Gibson County. I have the opportunity to work with several counties, and some of the programs that y'all have that deal with workforce development in Gibson County are head and shoulders above most counties in West Tennessee. You're definitely be commended for that, because most counties do not have the involvement that y'all do in workforce development in your local schools. And the way this thing shook out with us is the state named partnering organizations that you must partner with or that the mayor must designate. And I'm going to tell you there's only 2 that you have. One of them is Ready, which has been here, and the other one is an organization called Tennessee Achieves out of Knoxville. So that's the only 2 partnering organizations that you have to work through this Tennessee Promise program. Anything else?
And I think it's a great investment, and you know, as a former mayor, it's rare that you get the opportunity to make an investment you can expect a return on, and this is one. I mean, it's frustrating when we have a visit. We had a visit 2 weeks ago, it was their second visit here, and the whole time they were here, they wanted to talk about our workforce and how we can improve it, what we're doing to improve it, and this will be another answer to that question.
We had, and this is real quickly to tell you how important this is, all of you are familiar with the mega site in Haywood County. Back a couple of years ago, there was a large manufacturing firm, well, it's been longer than that, 4 or 5 years ago now, that looked at that site, and they said, even though the infrastructure was not there, as far as the perfect footprint for a large manufacturing industry there, that definitely that was the best site that they looked at in the southeast. And then they said, but even if the infrastructure would have been there, we would not have located there because you've got to do something about improving the quality of your workforce. So this is how important this is.
And you can look at the counties that are doing better than us, being in West Tennessee, Middle or East Tennessee, and it's almost a 1-for-1 percentage rate as to their post-secondary accreditation percentage and their unemployment rate. I mean, the higher the good one goes up, the lower the bad one gets. And I think that the state showing this commitment, $300 million commitment to Tennessee Promise, I think this is telling the state that we're committed to this also. And what we're doing here, and the schools have already committed their half of the funding, and I think we should partner with them and do so likewise. I think it'd be a great opportunity for us.
Thank you, Mike.
Any further comment? I'd like to entertain a motion. Resolution 7. Motion made by Commissioner Longmire, seconded by Commissioner Moss. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hughes,
No.
Commissioner Egbert,
Yes.
Commissioner Cunningham,
Yes.
Commissioner Sykes,
Yes.
Commissioner Longmire,
Yes.
Commissioner Carr,
Yes.
Commissioner Macklin, Commissioner Bivens,
Yes.
Commissioner Tubbs,
Yes.
Commissioner Martin,
Yes.
Commissioner Cameron,
Yes.
Commissioner Summers,
Yes.
Commissioner Cole,
Yes.
Commissioner Nance,
Yes.
Commissioner Locke,
Yes.
Commissioner Cottle,
No.
Commissioner Flake,
Yes.
Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
Commissioner McEwen,
Yes.
Commissioner Littleton,
Yes.
Commissioner Pella, Commissioner Steele,
Yes.
Commissioner Yergin,
Yes.
Commissioner Childers,
Yes.
Commissioner Moss.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you. Resolution number 8 is a resolution to set up money for the Department of Homeland Security grant received by the Gibson County Emergency Management Agency in the amount of $20,840. Do I hear a motion on resolution number 8? Motion made by Commissioner Summers, seconded by Commissioner Tubbs. Is there any discussion?
Mr. Mayor, I've got one question. Where does the figure of the $8,000 additionally being decreased from the general fund come from in this?
That just a typo error, is that?
Grants $20,840, says the general fund will be decreased in the amount of $28,840.
Well, it looks like, Mr. Neal, would you say that's a typographical error?
I didn't type this, Ricky did, but what I'm thinking is that 39,000 would not be decreased, the revenue side would be increased. And by the same amount, because it's 100% reimbursable grant. So the revenue side ought to be increased by 20,840. And then set up the expenditure side in the same amount of 20,840. Now, I'll have to get the revenue side number. So if you want to go forward with this, well, I'll get a revenue side and then come back to it.
We just need to change that general fund side from 28,840 to 20,840.
But that's wrong, we're not gonna do anything to 39,000.
Yeah.
That's the beginning balance of the unencumbered balance. We're gonna increase the revenue side because the state is sending us the money. And then we're gonna set up the expenditure side, which will balance out. And this is not right.
They just had it in reverse order than what we used to have. Yeah.
Well, we're not gonna decrease 39, he's got 3,900, but it should be 39,000. We're not going to decrease.
We don't see anything about 3,900. Ours said 28,000.
No, 3,900 general fund.
See that? Where's that?
Right there, 3,900.
Oh, okay.
Rick was unable to be here today. He had attended a training session in Asheville. Ms. Paula, can you attest to what the correct amount is? I mean, Rick and I discussed this, and I remember being 20,840.
I'm almost positive it's 20,840.
let's just do this. Let's err on the side of caution, and I'm gonna entertain a motion that we change the 28,840 in paragraph 3 to 20,840 as requested in paragraph 1. Motion made by Commissioner Childers, second by Commissioner Yerkin. All those in favor, vote by saying aye.
Mayor, it also needs to be amended that the revenue side of account number 47235, which is Homeland Security revenue, be increased in the amount of $20,840, and strike that the beginning balance of the unencumbered balance of the general fund be decreased.
You heard the motion has been made. Anybody like to entertain the motion that the verbiage be changed? Motion made by Commissioner Moss, second by Commissioner Steele. All those in favor, vote by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed likewise. Any further discussion? If not, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hughes,
Yes.
Commissioner Egbert,
Yes.
Commissioner Cunningham,
Yes.
Commissioner Sines,
Yes.
Commissioner Longmire,
Yes.
Commissioner Carr,
Yes.
Commissioner Macklin,
Yes.
Commissioner Bivens,
Yes.
Commissioner Tubbs,
Yes.
Commissioner Morgan,
Yes.
Commissioner Cameron,
Yes.
Commissioner Summers,
Yes.
Commissioner Cole,
Yes.
Commissioner Nance,
Yes.
Commissioner Locke,
Yes.
Commissioner Connell,
Yes.
Commissioner Flake,
Yes.
Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
Commissioner McEwen,
Yes.
Commissioner Littleton, Commissioner Pillow,
Yes.
Commissioner Steele,
Yes.
Commissioner Yergin,
Yes.
Commissioner Childers,
Yes.
Commissioner Moss.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you. Before moving on with late files, I'd like to entertain a motion we dispense with reading the late file resolutions. Motion made by Commissioner Longmire, second by Commissioner Flake. All those in favor, vote by saying aye. And opposed, like sign. Resolution, late file resolution number 1 is our annual resolution to file inventory of machinery and equipment for the highway department. Do I hear a motion on late file 1? Motion made by Commissioner Steele, seconded by Commissioner Mack. All those in favor, vote by saying aye. And opposed likewise. Late file resolution number 2 is a resolution to set up a grant from the Department of Economic and Community Development. This is our annual 3-star grant that we receive that we use for our workforce development, no excuses tour that we go around the high schools and encourage our kids to take advantage of our post-secondary educational opportunities. And this is, by the way, another example of the state's deadline coming after our budget pass. It's just another example of it. We have several of them that way. But I'd rather us be playing catch up, or I'd rather us be ahead and them playing catch up than the other way around, because we have seen that before. I'm not picking on any other county, but I just found out over the weekend that Lake County hadn't even started their budget process yet. So I'd rather us be ahead, and it's a good thing. Do I hear a motion on late file number 2? Motion made by Commissioner Flake, second by Commissioner Moss. Any discussion? If not, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hughes,
Yes.
Commissioner Egbert,
Yes.
Commissioner Cunningham,
Yes.
Commissioner Sykes,
Yes.
Commissioner Longmire,
Yes.
Commissioner Carr,
Yes.
Commissioner Macklin, Commissioner Bivens,
Yes.
Commissioner Tubbs,
Yes.
Commissioner Morgan,
Yes.
Commissioner Cameron,
Yes.
Commissioner Summers,
Yes.
Commissioner Cole,
Yes.
Commissioner Nance,
Yes.
Commissioner Locke,
Yes.
Commissioner Cottle,
Yes.
Commissioner Flake,
Yes.
Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
Commissioner McEwen,
Yes.
Commissioner Littleton,
Yes.
Commissioner Pillow,
Yes.
Commissioner Steele,
Yes.
Commissioner Yergin,
Yes.
Commissioner Childers,
Yes.
Commissioner Moss.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you. Late file resolution number 3 is a resolution to approve our constable surety bond. Do I hear a motion on late file number 3? Motion made by Commissioner Steele, seconded by Commissioner Cameron. Any discussion on late file number 3? If there is none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hughes,
Yes.
Commissioner Edwards,
Yes.
Commissioner Cunningham,
Yes.
Commissioner Sykes,
Yes.
Commissioner Longmire,
Yes.
Commissioner Carr,
Yes.
Commissioner Macklin,
Yes.
Commissioner Bivens,
Yes.
Commissioner Tubbs,
Yes.
Commissioner Morgan,
Yes.
Commissioner Cameron,
Yes.
Commissioner Summers,
Yes.
Commissioner Cole,
Yes.
Commissioner Nance, Commissioner Locke,
Yes.
Commissioner Connell,
Yes.
Commissioner Flay,
Yes.
Commissioner Smith,
Yes.
Commissioner McEwen,
Yes.
Commissioner Littleton,
Yes.
Commissioner Pillar,
Yes.
Commissioner Steele,
Yes.
Commissioner Yergin,
Yes.
Commissioner Childers,
Yes.
Commissioner Moss.
Yes.
Motion carries. Thank you. Late file resolution number 4 is a resolution to set up additional funds for accumulated time owed to employees of previous administration of the Gibson County Sheriff's Department. Before we move any further with that, I believe County Attorney Flippin has some input he would like to offer.
Morning. Good morning. I'm sure over the last several weeks, in fact, I'd be shocked if this is not true, that you all have heard various rumors, allegations, etc., about activities within the Sheriff's Department prior to Sheriff Paul Thomas taking over. This resolution that's before you seeks comp time, overtime, vacation pay for 4 people, and it's my recommendation, in fact, I hope you'll do this, we'll table this, and I want to tell you why. There's a lot of issues regarding this. Just first and foremost are some or all of these people exempt from overtime and comp time? That's the first question. The second question is that due to various allegations, etc., and they are allegations, they're not proven at this point, the Comptroller's Office has taken over that resolution and the investigation and decision-making concerning it. So we would be, in my mind, not very wise to vote on because they have not completed their work. They have seized, taken over, etc., the records on payroll records, etc., time records, etc., and we're just not in a position to respond to it, up or down. We did want to present it. Former Sheriff Chuck Arnold has asked that we approve it. I have had a conversation with him about it, and but at this point, it's my recommendation that this body table it. And let me also say that no investigation about it is being conducted by me. None of it's being conducted by Mayor Witherspoon, by Benita Van Dyke, even by Sheriff Paul Thomas. It will all be done by the Comptroller's Office. It's their job, as you know, to verify payments, et cetera, et cetera. So in fairness to everybody involved, we just need to wait until they've completed their work. There are other agencies that are looking at it too, and we just need to, frankly, nobody has an authoritative opinion at this point, and we just need to wait and let those groups finish their work. Let me tell you, I was going to say this in my attorney-client meeting with y'all, or my attorney report. This body will have an attorney-client meeting about it. Once these organizations have investigated it and made their recommendations back to us, then we'll meet. And as some of you older commissioners know, you all won't vote in the attorney-client meeting, but we will have question and answers in which you can ask anything under the sun, and I'll hopefully be able to answer it. But at this point, I really think we need to table it. Any questions of me?
Recommendation's been made, table late file number 4. Motion's been made by Commissioner Hughes, seconded by Commissioner Smith.
I think there was a question that was...
Does anyone have a question?
No. And let me also say too, I think the best thing we can do as a body here, me included, is mum is the word, because we don't know. This is all being investigated by people who do know and who will find out whether we should pass it or not. So that's my recommendation. Thank you.
You've heard the recommendation. There has been a motion to table late file resolution number 4 and has been properly seconded. If there are no further questions, all those in favor vote by saying aye. Aye. And opposed, like sign. And I'd just like to add to that my office and the sheriff's office have been and will continue to be cooperating fully with those investigating at the state level, and I know that justice will be done. Be brave. If I got a couple of minutes to do committees first. I'll tell you what, let's just go ahead and take a 10-minute recess.